They don't think you could do it, but tell you to try when they talk. All I hope had to keep it at last when the day in the Bronx, but you wouldn't survive. Can be low when I pop out, they know I've arrived. I go have conversations with Zoe, he gon' tell me pull up and come say what you know. I've been up, I can count all them days in a row. We don't say what we do, we be making the show. They say I'll be
the voice of the Bronx. We have Bronx Land with the guys that are out here. Can I get a yeah?
Leave them all right where they at. Try to diss me, I bet I don't even react. Put a show on, I bet you somebody gon' I pick me a book up and drink me some water, invest in the stock. All them kids don't be bad.
Peace and love, world. Welcome to the episode of Conversation with Zoe. It's big Jersey energy today. Humbly honored to be here. It was a long time coming. Used to bump into my guy on the train back in the day on one train. You know, bump into each other at events. Just always been solid, never Hollywood. And just respected the grind, you know what I'm saying? I'm a good guy, you know, so I think people really respect the energy and the grind and always seeing me outside and working. And we got a really good interview at the Dave East party in about June or so.
Right.
Yeah, you know, and that was fire, man. Except that collab, man, that clip went crazy, you know what I mean? But listen, man, we got a father, entrepreneur, DJ on High 97, loving hip-hop New York. Shout out to VH1. We got the movement, heavy hitter DJs. And if you want to book the guy, just go to @DJayed.com.
Oh, I like
That's
that.
what we doing.
I like
man.
that.
What's the word,
he put the
bro?
booking in the. Usually they wait to the end of the interview.
No, you got to put that up front, baby. Because you know, my guys booked them busy, man. You know, and I'm glad you allowed me to be in your space and you know be out here. And I'm forever grateful, man. So I always want. Listen. Winners win,
Right?
And winners hang out with winners.
And I appreciate you pulling up here to do the interview.
Oh
right?
yeah, of course,
This
man.
is the conversations with Zoe in the new movement spot, which is amazing.
Big blessing, bro. I mean, it's a hell of an opportunity, and I'm just thankful to be here, man,
right?
You know,
and congrats. You said this is like episode 196.
Yeah, we a few away from 200. So this is crazy. This is a weird week because I ain't dropped nothing this week.
Right.
But last year we dropped 57 episodes.
Damn.
And 52 weeks in a year. You know what I mean? So we've been going crazy. You feel me? So right now it's a good time because I'm pacing myself. I'm also at the school. I told you we was at prom.
Right.
Got a big surprise for the kids tomorrow. So it's cool. It's cool. You know, people used to me dropping every week. I always got something, but this is special, you know, because I can take my time and, you know, hopefully come with a big bang for episode 200.
Yeah, I respect it, bro. 196 episodes, almost at 200, still doing the school thing. Like, I give you credit because I know what it is to put in work, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Congrats.
I mean, the hustle is definitely sold separately.
Facts.
You know, and I feel like even working in education, there's so many hurdles. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like every industry has dinosaurs. You know, people who are like, I don't want to say old, but they're just out of touch.
Right.
And there's always a traditional way to do things, but there's also a new way where things evolve. Like, you know, we're not carrying boatloads of money anymore. I'm gonna tell you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's other ways to communicate. You know, answering your DM, engaging on social media. You know, so. Even in education, people aren't like they want these protocols. There's no protocols to bring celebrities to school because celebrities don't come to school every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's really you just embracing what kids like. And
I don't think the school, you know, system understands, you know, for a kid to be in school, you got to be like low key inspired, you know, and motivated to want to sit in class to learn that way. That the way of learning that we came up in public school and just that school system. You need motivation, and when you bring people that they look up to or people they feel are successful, that's motivation to keep them like, okay, cool. Like, I like being in this school. I like learning. I want to be successful like them. You know what I'm saying? So for you to be bridging that gap and using your relationships outside of the school, like, you know what I'm saying? They got to respect that too.
Right. Listen, and we don't have to say names. I'm not going to say the school I work at, but I've been him.
Right.
And as the greats say, this is not for clout, you know? Like, I'm just fully understanding what God is doing. And this is good. Shout out to my brother Manny, Chosen Basketball, everything they got going on. He told me about being a steward. He told me this literally 3 hours ago.
Crazy.
And I bumped into him. I was parking my car. He was like, yo, listen, what stewardship is when God gives you the resources, because he trusts you to utilize them in the right way. Feel me? So conversation with Zoe, it's been hot for years now.
Right.
Feel me? But I feel that these relationships are to bridge the gap, like you just said.
Yeah.
And that's all coming full circle for me and understanding what my purpose is and what is this all for. I think what's gonna make me rich is when I get into politics and become a councilman. You imagine me at a rally, DJ Drewski on the ones and twos, me and Dice Peso running out in the Bronx. Like, that's gonna be like I visualize it like when a boxer comes walking to the ring.
Yeah.
That's how I see my political rallies. You feel me? Got DJ Drewski over there, me and Dice Peso, and every lit rapper in the Bronx, and we outside and because listen, with the council people, if the youth don't know you, you don't matter. You feel me? Like,
at all.
People aren't in tune with local politics.
Right.
You feel me? And I feel like that's what this is all gonna be for in the bigger picture.
Right.
Of bridging the gap in education, making it fly. Like seeing consistent, because remember, no offense to the turkey givers, but Thanksgiving was a long time ago. Feel me? Like, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean?
About it.
So that's the beautiful part of my organization, Slice of Excellence, where we trade report cards for pizza, is that our pizza parties are every month. You know, perfect attendance parties happen every month. You know, report card parties happen quarterly.
It's not just once a year.
It's not just once a year. I'm covering all 12 months.
That's crazy.
Even summer school. If you go to summer school and I send pizza to your school, I'm going to send pizza halfway, so you halfway through.
Right.
And I'm going to send pizza at the end.
Do you think that way of thinking, were you already thinking like that or more when you became a father?
I was already thinking like that.
So you was already on that type of time?
Yeah, bro. I had a lot of great people in my life. You know, as far as, I went to boarding school for high school in Connecticut. Bill Belichick's son was my neighbor.
Word.
Like, you talking about?
But he didn't go to your high school?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did?
His son, yeah.
Oh,
he literally, we lived in the same dorm. Like, this is $50,000 a year. I was there on a baseball scholarship. You know, so for me, public school ended for me in 3rd grade. When my father started, he sent us all to Catholic school. When he started getting money, he was doing tiles, he was in the union.
Right.
You know what I mean? First generation American, all that cool stuff. So what I'm bringing to the school is something that they never really seen before. And I know change is hard, but it's going to take me following their protocol and learning how to adapt to their system, but also knowing that this change is not going to hurt nobody.
Right.
Feel me? School shouldn't feel like the block. Like, we got to differentiate the two. You know what I mean? And we also have to make it in a way where there's this school pride. You feel me? Like, this pep rallies and you know that, like,
bring some excitement to the
right. You know what I'm saying? And having people that look like you that you may not see every day, it makes it more attainable. You know what I'm saying? Like when me and Dice going to a prom in a few weeks, in the Bronx. You know what I mean? So like once again, it's my connections that are like kind of like fast forwarding these processes where it's like once I say it, they do it. You know what I mean?
And I think once they see it, then like everyone, they believe it a little more. So once you do it once, twice, and they go, "Oh, I like what he's doing," then they all want to be on board and support it.
Right. And for my kids, I love y'all. Once y'all graduate, I'll explain to y'all what happened. But y'all gonna see a movie tomorrow. Even when this comes out, you know, just know I tried my best. You know, and I just hope y'all understand. But moving forward, like we're gonna have alumni events at the school. You know, this is I'm a forever friend. I'm a forever mentor. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it with the youth because it's an ongoing journey. You know
it never ends.
And I always tell my kids, like, I just want to bump into you and see you doing well. You feel me? Like, that's what's going to make me know that I played an intricate role in your journey. You feel me? But let's get into it, man. What does Jersey mean to you?
It's the birthplace for me. Like, for majority of my life is all I knew was Jersey, right? And us being so close to New York, we always felt like the stepchild in a sense, right? New York City being in the 5 boroughs, being as big as it was, Jersey, you always feel like you're overlooked. So when you go out of town and you're like, yo, I'm from Jersey, they just say, oh, you from New York? It's like, nah, like there's pride in Jersey, right? There's history in Jersey. And, as a kid and as a teen, you're always like fighting for that. You know what I'm saying? Like fighting for that Jersey love. And I feel like, me now being in a position where I could voice it more, right? Where I can sit down with people like yourself on your platform and just be able to talk about it, and then, you know, bring people into that Jersey world. I feel like that's part of what I do now. Right. If there's a Jersey artist that got some momentum, it's like, I feel like as a DJ, it's my job to put my arm around them and support them a little more, because they will get overlooked. You next to a big city with talented people. So it's like, you know, for me, Jersey just like, yo, that's home. Right. So yeah, it's a fact.
How was your childhood?
You know, probably the best moments of my life, right? It made me who I am today, and a lot of the experiences as a kid that I still take with me. We grew up in, like, you know, regular middle class town. I'm from Elizabeth, New Jersey, which, you know, if you're from Jersey, people would consider that the hood. Like, oh, Elizabeth's the hood, Newark is the hood. But I think that's what made me, you know, who I am. The environment I was around, the people I'm around, hip hop was a part of that. And that was a big influence on me becoming a hip hop DJ. You know what I'm saying? In my hood, we listened to Hot 97. So growing up, you know, you don't even realize being on Hot 97 is attainable. Like, the people that you hear on the radio, that was their career. I always thought it was just like a hobby. Like, oh, a DJ is a hobby. But, you know, because we ain't know no better. But once I realized, okay, this is a career. I could feed my family when I'm older. That's when it really clicked. But that comes from growing up in the Jersey, growing up in Elizabeth as a young boy, being around that environment. It was always music, hip hop. When you outside playing in the street, you in the park, older brother, older cousins, like, that was part of my life. But you don't realize the importance of those moments to, like, you're older. And that's why, you know, now I look back and reflect on certain things, like, oh shit, my older cousins had a big influence on me. You know, they might have been drug dealers back then, but they was looking fly, pulling up in nice cars and had the cool cell phones and money, giving us money. And it was like, those was like our role models too. Like, you know, I want to be like him. When he pulls up, his goal is to make everybody happy. And I think, like, that was always part of, like, my personality is like, yo, I want to make people happy. And you know, that's one of the, as a DJ, that's one of the goals. Is like, you know, when I'm playing, when I'm up there, when I'm on a set, when I'm outside, I want to make people happy. And it comes from little things like that, not even realizing it as a kid.
That's super cool, man. Describe your high school self.
In high school, I was, like, cool with the geeks and the gang members. So, like, I had relationships with everyone in high school. But I kept, like, a good, you know, grades and all that. But I always was, like, a hustler mentality from middle school. So, like, people I went to high school with, I was in TV production, like, hosting the high school news and learning how to shoot and edit. At the same time, I'm selling white tees to my classmates. I'm at home making beads for the gang members, selling beads, you know, straight out of my locker. So it was always like, wow, there's people here. I'm looking at people like, oh, that's money, that's bread. And even if it was like $5, $10,
it all adds up.
It was always like, I would go to, like, 25th Street, buy like the headbands, sweatbands, and wristband. Go back to Jersey, go to school, and selling them in the school. Anything I could get, my yo-yos, whatever was, like, hot at the moment. I'll go cop a bunch and go to high school and sell them, like, straight out my locker.
That's super dope, man. I mean, I feel like we grew up in, it's crazy because every generation says it, but we did grow up in simpler times. I feel like you had to be more in tune. Like, now you can kind of look it up and be in tune, but you don't really know about it. It's almost like the sneaker game. Like, we didn't have 23 is back. Where you could see the whole year of releases. You had to really go to the store, have a relationship. And that's why I'm glad you said that word, because people are kind of sleeping on how important relationships are, and cultivating them and nourishing them and keeping them, because that's your ears to the streets. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's going to keep things moving and keep you in the know. You know, and when you go to that sneaker store and you getting them before they release and things like that, that's based off a report. You feel me? So going back to my school is like, I'm lit with all the kids because I took the time to get to know every kid.
And you speak their language. Like, they understand, you know what I'm saying? They feel comfortable talking to you. You know how to respond back. Like, that communication is key too.
Right.
And I think for me, like what I said, like I was cool with the geeks, I was cool with the gang members. I just knew how to communicate with everyone.
Right.
So it always put me in a position like no matter where I'm at,
Right.
I know somebody or they know me or
Right.
so yeah, a lot of it is being able to communicate and building those relationships.
Right. And that's super important, knowing what, like, it's crazy, right? Yesterday, there was a little situation at my school, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I was explaining to the school was, that's hood politics. It has nothing to do with everything you guys are thinking of.
Right.
It's hood politics. Because the kid that came to the school, the kids that got involved lived on that kid's block.
So yeah, they
So
ready.
that situation was, he could go back and be like, yo, them niggas told me he ain't do nothing.
Right.
Feel me?
That's
so
what.
it's damn if you do and damn if you don't.
Right.
Because they could have, the right thing would have been to do, like, that's not my situation. I'm gonna go this way.
Mm-hmm.
But being on that block and having somebody on your block come to the school, it changes the dynamics of things.
Right.
So when you and I understand that, and that's what I was trying to tell them, like, I don't think they're not mature enough to understand that I didn't have to involve myself. But living with the narrative that was gonna come of that,
Right.
oh, they pussy, they this, they that. It's like, nah, we're not doing that. You feel me? So it's just being there to be able to explain certain things,
Of course.
that they may not understand.
Right.
And I understood them because it was a right and a wrong situation.
Mm-hmm.
Me being from the kind of environment in South Bronx that they are, I understand you did the right thing.
Right.
You feel me? But in the school's eyes, it was wrong.
Right. Which, you know, again, it's that being able to speak that language.
Right.
And when I say language, I'm not talking like Spanish or
Right,
Creole.
yeah.
It's like just understanding her politics,
Yes.
understanding the thought process that kid might be going through. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like, that's what makes us a little more ahead than other people is because we can think both ways. Right? We can think both ways. Some people just think one way.
Right.
And the fact that we could switch it up and think different and understand different ways of thinking, I feel like, not everyone has that ability.
Right. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first CD you ever bought?
CD, the first one I bought, I can't even remember because I know like my pops probably bought one for it. I have an older brother.
Right.
So he was always buying it. I never even bought it. I just listened to his or take his.
Right.
But my brother was like heavy on Jay, like on Hove. I always tell it, like when I tell people, like doing interviews, I'm trying to think how old I was. Maybe like 5, 6 years old. So my father, he was in like real estate. He listened to rock and roll. He ain't know nothing about no hip hop, nothing. He just had extra bread from working and trying to figure out how to flip it. He asked my brother, like, who you listening to? Like, who's, what do you guys like? My brother's like, oh, there's this new artist, Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., Biggie Smalls. He's about to drop an album. He's the hottest thing in New York. My dad booked Biggie for a show in a hood in Elizabeth, at the theater in Elizabeth. So it was like, and I'm a kid. So they're like, nah, you too young, you can't come. This is a hip-hop show. It's teenagers and adults. So, just remembering those moments, I think, too, was an influence on me. Like, just seeing my brother, my pops who had no idea about hip-hop, investing in it. It was always like, like, oh, I want to be a part of that. I want to do that. I want to be with cool people and the celebrities. And my brother got pictures with Biggie and Puff at the time. You know what I'm saying? Busta Rhymes was there. But they were all, like, new artists at the time.
It's the early mid-90s.
Yeah, so, like, memories like that was like, oh, shit. So a lot of the music, CDs was the Hoves and the Bigs and the Locks and Dipset and shit like that.
Right. How do you feel about all those artists being able to withstand the test of time?
Oh, nah, it's hard. In hip-hop, in this game, it's hard, right? So when you see an artist, shout to Capo, shout to Jim Jones, who was on your show, like, seeing him still put out music and be relevant, it's like, yo, like, that takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to figure out how to keep renewing yourself and to have that longevity and still booking shows. Look at Kiss and them. After the verses with the Locks, and I feel like Kiss has a whole new life. Right?
That's true.
outside, like putting out music, and still people, even now the young generation is like looking up to them, like the way we did.
Right.
But I give them a lot of credit. Busta Rhymes, like Busta been around since we was like babies, bro.
You know all that.
Yeah, like
good times, bro.
Crazy.
When music videos mattered.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
every
you really had to. Everything was more intentional.
Music videos was costing like hundreds of $1,000, right? Like they was putting bags. Now,
Hype Williams and all that.
Yeah, like now it's different. But just to see them, Busta still dropping albums today is like, yo, that shit is hard. Like we see artists come and go quick. Yeah, I see it all the time. Right. So to see these guys like last this long is fucking amazing.
Right. That's a beautiful thing. So what does music mean to you?
Nah, it's my life. Like from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, it's music. Literally, probably like 18 hours a day. Right. I'm just surrounded by it, whether it's looking at my email, people sending me new music, me being on the radio, me DJing, me, you know what I'm saying? Like going to a concert. Like it's like 18 hours a day. It's music in my life, no matter what. It's OD, like too much, too much music.
What's that process like updating your playlist?
Oh, I got to be on it. Like I'm full. Like people think, oh, DJing is once in a while. Like I said earlier, like people probably think it's a hobby. I'm a full-time like DJ. Like every day updating the music, going through the emails, finding out what's new, finding out what's trending, doing Shazam research, doing Spotify research, YouTube research, like full-time. Like I'm sitting there maybe for 3 hours just doing research, another 2 hours DJing a radio mix, another 2 hours in the club. You know what I'm saying? So it's nonstop all day, just going through it and then being outside. Like when you see me in the spots and the clubs, it's like I'm there hosting or DJing, but that's also like ground research, like figuring out, okay, who's bubbling, who's hot, who people listening to, who, right? So like that's all part of the process. Right. Shit is OD.
Right. So who embraced you that made you feel so comfortable always embracing other people?
For me, I think the first person that like I looked up to and I felt like had a platform and a position was DJ Cypher Sounds. I knew, like I'd seen other DJs. I didn't have no like inside, no family, friends. But Cypher Sounds, he's from the Bronx. He's on Hot 97, he's on Sirius, he's on MTV at the time. But he was also DJing a lot in Jersey. And he would DJ at Club Abyss in Sayreville, New Jersey. And my brother would go there all the time. He knew the owners, the promoters. And he would tell me, yeah, like I seen Cypher from Hot 97. He's telling me. So I started going on teen nights when Cypher's DJing. And just like kind of analyzing the way he moved. Because I didn't know nobody like on that scale of DJing. And I'm like, how do I get next to these people? He don't want to listen to me while he's in the club. Like, there's a lot going on. I realized that. So I figured out after high school, I would jump on the train, go to like Times Square, go to MTV building, and sit in the audience of TRL and the Sucker Free Countdown and 106 and Park. And at the time, when I first started doing it, DJ Clue was the host of Sucker Free Countdown. I'm like, oh shit, that's DJ Clue. He's on Hot 97. He's lit, he got the mixtapes. And like right away, like maybe like the second time going, Clue was no longer the host. So I'm like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now, right? Because I felt like, I figured it out. They put Cypher Sounds as the host of Sucker Free Countdown. So I went to him like, yo, Cypher, I know you DJ in Jersey. I've been to some of the teen nights. My brother knows this person. If you ever need an intern. And it took like weeks of doing that. And finally he's like, yo, if you want an intern, I got like a music production company. You could intern there. I'm like, if this is my end, it's my end. So I started doing that for a few weeks. But I knew I wanted to be next to him. I wanted to learn, standing next to him. And eventually he just embraced me. He was like, yo, meet me at Sirius XM, 6, 7 in the morning. I got the morning show. And I would just go there and I just learn, like just being next to Cypher and him letting me just be in his presence and be around and build relationships. And I credit him for being the first person to like put me on. Right. And then just from there, building relationships. Then it was like the Angie Martinez of the world, artists, Jim Jones. I knew how to work a camera. I came up with an idea to Jim. Like he would come to Hot 97 and on the sign like, yo, Jim, if you ever need somebody to shoot, I know how to do that too. And he's like, yeah, come to my studio. And we would just start putting out content. This is before everybody was doing content. Yeah. We're doing like remixes to songs. So now I'm DJing for his shows when he needed a DJ. Mano, the same thing. Like Mano, man, if you never need anything, he put me on tour with him as his DJ, like early on, before it was Drewski that everybody knew. So those guys like embraced me early. Right. And, they gave me the confidence to be like, yo, I'm Mano's DJ, I'm Jim's DJ, I'm shooting Jim videos, I'm with Cypher, and it just gave me the confidence to keep growing as a brand. Right.
Yeah, I mean, Jim Jones, man, shout out to Dice Pesos, Bird Gang, Vampire Life, all the family over there. It's still surreal, that interview. And even seeing the record Blowing Money Fast come out, I didn't know that I witnessed him do his verse. Right. And all of these interviews where people be like, yeah, he looks sleep. And he look like but that's just him like writing in his head, and then, Call the Oasis, I need 4 more, like all that. So when I seen it, I'm in the gym, I'm like, wait, hold on. Why does this record sound so familiar? And when I interviewed him, shout out to La Bodega NYC in the Bronx, he was like, yo, Zo, come in the booth. And literally my feet didn't move. Right. I didn't expect him to say that. Everybody goes, Zo, go. So we in the booth, shout out to my man Made in Dior, and we just recording him doing his verse and punching in and punching out and doing it over and over, and then boom, it happened, bro. So just to witness that, it's a super cool experience, bro.
I would be in the studio with Jim like every night, and he would be in there at 6, 7 in the morning in between recording. He's falling asleep, and I gotta wait till he wakes up. Maybe we're doing a freestyle at night, and I'm like, fuck, it's 4 o'clock. I want to get out of here, but I knew like I'm gonna have to wait for him to wake up, because Jim, his process too, like recording, they would be playing the beat. You think he's sleeping, and the whole time he's writing in his head, and then pop up an hour later, like, all right, let's go. Yeah. And I'm like, damn, now, but those are like moments I'm grateful for. Just to, to be around was like the biggest deal to me at the time. Right. So them memories, them moments is classic.
Right. I think for all the young artists, up and coming artists, like these guys really work hard. Like before you go out with Dice is in the studio every single day. Right. Like every single day. Like you may see him at 11 or Mermaid or wherever you see him, but no matter what, his night always starts off in the studio. Right. And it's super cool for me because I get to hear music that hasn't come out, and I'm really waiting for that Bird Gang anthem, because I don't know if you heard that one.
Nah, I don't think.
Oh, yeah, you might have to call Jim tonight. Yeah. That Bird Gang anthem is different, bro. Fire. And, just to be around, but, they make music every day. You know what I mean? So for me being around it and even being in the podcast industry, Joe Budden is dropping like 3-4 times a week. So when people were like, yo, I drop every 2 weeks, or I drop I'm like, nah, that's not gonna work. Right. You feel me? Because your audience, like even this week, I announced Sunday, like we're not dropping this week. And I learned that I had to do that because people know Wednesday, 8 a.m., so drops. You know what I mean? So there's people, trust me, after a while, there's going to be people looking for you. Right. And whether it's 5, 10, and 15, and 20, and 30, but there's people there, feel me, looking for your product.
Yeah, that's
so why you got to keep going.
Like you said, being consistent is what, what gets you to whatever that goal is just being consistent. Right. I feel like for anything you choose to do in life, the consistency is really what drives you to that goal.
Right. First party or event you ever DJed at?
Like parties. So I'll do like birthday parties and stuff, but I don't count those as like what we do now. But the first like DJing party, it was like a hall attached to like a bowling alley. Right. And I think my brother was like, yo, let's just throw a party. We promoted ourselves. He just wanted to make money at the door. He didn't care about it. And at the time, like my girlfriend at the time, she got me the equipment. and it was, you know, we had a good time. And I think I only had, it was something wrong. Either one turntable wasn't working at the time, but we made it happen. You know what I'm saying? We had fun, and it was just a learning process. And those are the stages you got to go through, like the places you don't want to be at, the parties you don't want to DJ, the pressure of like, it's our own party. We got to get people in here. How are we going to promote it? I'm not just DJing, I'm the promoter too.
Right.
You know, and it was like, you know, stressful at the time. But now it's like, that was fun. It was good times, like good memories. And
right. It was all a part of the journey. And even with everybody, how I started podcast. You're recording and dropping.
Right. Just
that's
go.
All I tell people. Don't overthink about the
overthink
editing and the name, and just put something out there.
Right.
And then just keep doing that. And then who knows? But I didn't start doing interviews until COVID happened. So I was just on my iPhone 7 right here, 3 to 7 minutes of just me just giving my game on what I felt in that moment.
Right.
So Black Lives Matter, emotional intelligence, emotionally unavailable, breaking generational trauma, like trying to get out people to see that a lot of things revolves around mindset. You know what I mean? How you view things. Because a negative mindset could be your downfall. You're just negative Nancy. And you're just negative about everything. So a person that thinks bad things always happen to me, guess what? Bad things always happen to you. Because that's how you think. And that's the energy that you put out there. So a lot of my beginning episodes were very short, sweet to the point. But it's like, we have to change how we think. And we also have to give our parents grace because they were raised on survival, not on love. You know what I mean? And now we're more emotionally intelligent, where now we're raising our kids with more love. You know what I mean? Because we're not as in survival mode as much. We're doing things that we enjoy, which is a blessing to love what you
100%.
do. You know what I mean? And I look at a lot of teachers at my school, and I'm like, you guys, this is your life. You come here and go home. Right. And I come here and I go do a podcast after.
Right.
Or I go coach baseball. Everything I do, I love. You feel me? Yeah. So this generation, seek your passion and then monetize it.
And they have enough information at this point to figure it out a lot faster than we did, or our parents. Forget it, our parents. It took forever to figure out. But, if you wake up and you feel like, I want to do something, I want to try something new. Like, there's enough information, there's enough resources, there's enough equipment to do that. You wake up, you want to do a podcast, you can literally go on Amazon and order a podcast kit. Right? And start your podcast if you got Prime the next day. Right. So it's like all the information is there, all the resources are there. So if there is something you want to do or you have interest in, do it. Right. Like, it's not that much work.
And not to make excuses, because we don't make those, but just to give everybody some grace, is most of the things we're doing, there was no infrastructure for us. Right. So podcasting, there's no podcasters in my family. Right. Owning a nonprofit, there's no one in my family with a 501c3. And playing professional baseball, there's none. Right. You know what I mean? I played in the pros in Europe. Right. That was what I was doing in my early 20s. So know that you're going to be the first to figure it out. You're going to be the first to bump your head. But hey, you're going to have something to pass on.
100%.
And that's what your legacy is going to be focused on. Something that you left behind. Right. So it's not always monetary, it's information. Right. If you think of like books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where, they both had money, but they both looked at money totally different. Right. And if you look at Rich Dad had way more time than Poor Dad had. You know what I mean? And the way they looked at money was totally different. And he was telling him, your money gotta make money and all of these things and all of this information. So you guys do have a lot more, but also understand that you may be the pioneer in your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you might be the first to do it, right? And that being the first to do it is a great feeling once you do it, right? Like, nobody in my family would think DJing could be a career and you get other opportunities. I didn't even think that, like, you know what I'm saying? But we're doing it. Like I just said earlier, full-time DJ. Like, wake up till I go to sleep. Music is in my life. The DJing aspect, I'm not actually on the turntables, but everything around that is happening full-time. And it was just taking that step and believing in myself and saying, okay, no, my dad ain't doing it, my mom ain't doing it, no uncle's not, but I'm going to do it. Right. I was never discouraged. I never you know, of course you and still to today, you double guess like yourself, you know, like, damn, is this what I'm gonna do forever? Can it last forever? How, you know, you still have those moments, but the mindset is like, no, this is who I am, and this is what I'm gonna do, and
absolutely,
we here.
Was loving hip hop good or bad for you?
I would say it was great for me.
Right.
Not for everybody, but for me, it was great.
Right.
It put me on a huge platform. It put a lot of eyes to who DJ Drewski was, right? Because when you're on radio, especially early on, there was, you know, people hear your voice and know your name, but they don't really know who. There's people that be like, yo, Drewski, I thought you was black. You know, like a lot of times just from listening on the radio. But Love and Hip Hop was such a huge platform. It just took my brand to a whole different level. Right. You know, from just being local to now international. There's people like in Africa that reach out like, yo, and they're like a year behind. Right. And they're like, yo, I just seen you on Love and Hip Hop. It's crazy. So it just took my brand to a whole different level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel, so was that the script drawn out for you? So as far as, you know, pushing P, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so people think there's really no script. Right. They create a storyline because, of course, it's TV, so you got to kind of stay focused on one topic. You can't be all over the place. Right. So they create a storyline. Then they put you in a position. There's no script like, yo, today you're going to fight or this. Right. It's like they create the storyline, put you in a room, and once the cameras are on, however you react to the situation, is what they captured. So when you see people doing goofy stuff or looking crazy, they decided to do that. Right. Nobody like made them do it. It wasn't part of a script. They wanted to look goofy on TV or they wanted to act ratchet on TV. That's the route they took. Right. But there was no script to it. Right. You know, they create scenarios.
Right.
Like,
okay. That
I'm
makes
gonna put
sense.
you on Zoe's podcast and your op is gonna walk in. Boom. That's it. Now, however it plays out. Right. Like the school, like the students in your school that instant. However you decide to go, that's what they record. Right. So I could turn up on my op, or I could just, yo, Zoe, thank you, I'm out. I'm not cool with this person, and then that's how it kind of happens.
Right. Right. Are you and Bianca still friends?
Yeah, we cool. Right. I wouldn't say friends, but we cool. Okay. Yeah, we cool.
So something that is really near and dear to me as a father, you know, promoting fly things with fathers, and it's almost Father's Day next month. Yeah. Doing a pretty cool Father's Day episode this year. I did a Mother's Day episode last year, which is pretty cool. So I had a single mother, I had a mother with no help, I had a mother with help, and I had a mother with the father came in later on in life. Mm. So all the perspectives were totally different. Right. It was totally cool because everybody had a different view on the day-to-day of motherhood, you know, because, you know, one person is just getting used to this person who 13 years later wants to be involved. Right. And then this person, like, has a whole village to watch the kid, and she's living her life. And then this one is like, yo, I haven't had a break in forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it just shows multiple sides of motherhood. Right. You know what I mean? Which is fine. And I definitely wanted to display that, you know, and be intentional with that. Right. You know? So how's fatherhood?
It's now it's become the best thing in my life. Music and DJing was, and now fatherhood, I think, took over that. Yeah. Right? Because it's like when I'm not DJing, my thought is I want to get home to my daughter. I want to get home to my family. So I'm like, oh wow, like it kind of took over the love of DJing and music, which of course is still there. Yeah. But now this newfound love is like what makes me happy personally. Right. Just being like watching her grow in 2.5 years, like just that development was like right. And it's still early, but you know how it feels like watching them grow and creating memories with them. Like we just went to Disney like 3 weeks ago for the second time, and she's 2.5 years old. She's been to Disney World twice, right. But from the first time to now 2.5 years later or 2 years later, like it's a whole different person. Right. And I'm learning new things as a father and through her, and just it's the greatest thing right now in my life is like being a father.
That's beautiful. So what does being a dad mean to you?
To me, it's like I'm setting an example for their future. So I have to be the best version of myself. Like I have not just a father, but the best person, right? Because even early on, I could see her like taking things from me, maybe saying a certain word a certain way, and it's like, oh wow, even at a very young age, she's absorbing what I put out. So I feel like being a father is like I have to now set the right example for her future, and that's pressure.
Right.
But
no,
you know,
it definitely is. It definitely is because they repeat things, movement, motions.
Right? Yeah, you start.
I drive and I dance and I look back and I just see hands like.
Right.
I'm like, oh, he's moving back here. And then even now, I was telling my girl like, the car ride is weird because now I pick up my younger son. So it's quiet in the car. Mm-hmm. So I'm used to chopping it up with little bro.
Right.
And then now he goes to school by his mother's job, and they go home together. Gotcha. And I pick up my youngest son, Lennox. So I'm like, man, like this is totally different. Right. Because it took time to now I'm hearing things back there. He's singing along. And now he's making requests. Like I'm a DJ now. Right. Like, Daddy playing. I'm like, what? Like that was crazy. It's 7:00 in the morning, and we pulling up to school. It's crazy. And now it's just back to
Yeah, but
it's temporary, but it's just you see the different side.
Of course, and I'm a girl dad, right? So all the crazy shit I was doing, the way I looked at women, it's totally different now. Right. As a man, I was outside, and I'm DJing, I'm in parties, wilding. Right. Even before that, high school, going crazy. You have a girl, you like, damn, I was doing too much.
You got to.
Because now you're thinking of her, like, okay, she's gonna get older, and I don't want no man disrespecting my daughter, right? Because it'll make you go crazy. Right. So now as a girl dad, it's like, all right, I gotta start showing her. As men, we just think like, oh, I'm gonna show her everything now, so that nothing impresses her when she's older. Or no dude could, So yeah, that's crazy.
Right. What advice do you have for fathers out there?
I could just say, do your best to be, the greatest father you can, right? And for future fathers, like people that are not fathers yet, choose the right mother for your kids. Like that's important. That's like number one advice, because you might choose the wrong mother for your child and start questioning yourself. You might be a great father, but that relationship, that partnership is just not working out. But don't let that. So say you are a father and you chose the wrong baby mom. Don't let her or that relationship hinder your relationship with your child. Right. You know what I'm saying? Keep those two relationships separately. Yeah. If it ain't working out with your baby mom, or you know what I'm saying, you two can't get along, don't put that on the kid. Like I always, even like we be in the house and we are good, but if something, I'm like, please, like not right now. Like I don't even want her listening or hearing or even feeling this type of energy. Right. And unfortunately, there's men out there and fathers out there that just chose the wrong baby mother, and vice versa. Right. But like whatever the case is, don't let that fall on the child. Right. You probably can't stand your baby mom. That don't mean go missing and now your child don't have a father, figure in their life because, I can't stand my baby mom. That got nothing to do with the child. Like figure it out. Grow up, put your grown man hat on and figure it out. Like even if you got to take her to court for custody, like just, man up. Be the best father you could be, and that's not giving up no matter what the circumstance is.
That's super important. And I feel like in our community, many people, when I'm going to be frank here. What made me start my platform was to kind of rewrite the narrative on certain things. Right. There's a lot of real niggas that call themselves real niggas that don't take care of their kids. So how does that make you a real nigga?
Facts.
You know what I mean? Right. That ain't it, bro. And we gotta, because kids, we're influential. So like you said, whoever you see on the block that's him or her, you emulate that.
Right.
So that's the mindset that the 10-year-old, the 20-year-old, and the 30-year-old had. That's a generational curse of I could run blocks and empires and do all these things, and I don't have to be a present parent.
Right.
And that's not good. Because working with the youth, a lot of that abandonment, that resentment, that anger is coming from that.
Yeah.
You know, and then now we on the block and we're trauma buddies now because everybody has the same sentiment. Like, you don't got a problem, I don't got a problem, and that's what they bond over.
Right.
You feel me? And then
it starts at home, bro. It starts at home.
Yes, it does.
So if the home ain't right, it's gonna be hard, you know, as they grow to keep that person right. So
Is there any narrative out there about you that you'd like to clear up?
Nah, I think there ain't nothing to clear up. There was one time that whole Drewski not playing drill, but I think we're way past that.
Right.
I cleared that up a long time ago.
Right.
It was like I never once said that, right? Drewski's not playing drill. It was I wasn't supporting records on the radio where they mention each other's dads or they smoking on their dad, like mentioning names. I just feel like that was never right. And from that time to now, I see a lot of growth in these artists. They switched up, you know what I'm saying? The approach to these records. So someone had to say it.
Yes,
but other than that, nah, you know, I don't really get the whole culture vulture thing. I think my work is like self-explanatory. It's like I put in a lot of work, a lot of grind. I put a lot of people on more than I do myself. Like I'm always putting other people on more than I do myself. Right. You know, that's for a lot of like white people, the first thing is they culture vulture. Of course, once in a while you get the haters that try to use it. Right. But for me, it never worked.
Right. And it's crazy because I guess the people that know you and the work speak for itself, most of these narratives don't stick.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I say that because there's a lot of narratives about me at school, but nothing has stuck.
Yeah, don't stick.
Me, like, I had clout, like, I don't even use the word clout, but I had clout before I got here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I came into this, like, I didn't choose, like, I chose this school. This school didn't choose me.
Right, fact.
I was a project manager in construction, doing pizza parties in our property management buildings. You feel me? And so this was already a thing. And this was a thing before I even got there.
Right.
So I just wanted to now be at a hub, like a home, like cool. Like I got Snipes calling me. I'm collaborating with Up NYC, doing all these sneaker giveaways. Hopefully that complex thing pulls through. And we're doing a lot of great things. So I was like, cool, like let there be one place where I could just do all these things.
Right.
Because I used to run around the city. Yo, Drewski, you know people in Elizabeth High School? Cool. And I would go through you and, you know, and just connect the dots. So I figured it was only right that I could just come to one place.
Yeah, that was smart. I mean? Like that was the best way to do it.
Right, for sure.
But yeah, same thing for me. Like I've been doing this. It's nothing new. Like I've been lit since the high school days, you know? Right. So it's like none of that, nothing can stick.
Right.
And I'm honest. I'm maybe too real sometimes. Like if I faked it a little more, who knows? I would be much bigger. But I could go to sleep at night and feel comfortable, like knowing that's me. Like
that's invaluable. Peace is important.
Right.
I'm saying that's why we start every episode. We say peace and love. Right.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're gonna get back to the drill, but we're gonna go to Twitter for a little bit.
Okay.
And I found 3 tweets that stood out to me that we want to expound on.
Yeah, talk about it.
So, hey, New York, New Jersey, we don't have to just support one at a time. There can be multiple female artists winning at the same time.
I'm trying to remember what that tweet was about, but even the way you read it, I still feel the same way. I feel like they pick and choose. Like, okay, if there's one hot person, we only stand behind that, support that. I'm sure at that time, what I'm trying to say is like, yo, we could support 3-4 artists at the same time. You don't gotta just pick and choose one artist to support. There's multiple talented people out there. Did I say women? Female artists?
Female artists,
I wonder who that was or why I said
it. Was around the 2018, 2019 time.
Really?
Yeah.
But look, like how many female artists running this?
Yeah, this was kind of before the wave.
Like right at the end.
And I feel like saying things like that allows things to open up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because now you see Ice Spice, you see Deanna Dior, you know what I'm saying? Kitty, You know, it keeps going. Chinese kitty gata, it keeps going. You feel me? And as it should be, you know what I mean? Because that's how, like I said, at the bottom there's competition, at the top there's collaboration.
Right. I like that line too. I'm a jack that, by the way.
For real, because if you look, you know, everybody, you know, lobby boys, right? Genius.
Right.
You know, I know people say what they say, but Mano has a platform, Jim Jones has a platform, Dave East has a platform, Fab has a platform, and we just cross-promoting.
Right.
You feel me? I'm collabing with Fab, he got a couple million, Mano got a couple million, and now together we got 10 million.
And it's not forced neither, you know what I'm saying? It's
they rocking each other. If you go to any of their listening party, you're going to see all of them.
Right.
Every single one of them going to pop out for each other.
I'm saying it's organic, so it makes sense. And when things make sense, and when it's real, it just makes sense. Like, that's it.
Life is crazy. I'm sitting in my younger brother's police academy graduation ceremony, getting a collect call from my friend in prison.
That's a pretty good tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know I tweeted that, but that's my life. That's the geeks and the gang members, like I said earlier. But yeah, it's crazy because my brother graduated. Literally, there's a theater right next to it. I don't know if you've seen it walking in. That's where I had the 4-1 and Sleepy Hollow concert. But the police academy, that's where they graduate. But yeah, while he's in there graduating to become a cop, my childhood friend is, you know, hitting me from prison. Right. And it's like, that's pretty much who I am. Like, that's who Drewski is, like being able to balance both worlds and connected to both worlds.
Right. And absolutely. You know, I'm the self-proclaimed king of the sidewalks. You feel me? But being on the sidewalks, the streets is right there. Right. You know, so it's just understanding where you feel most comfortable. Right. And I had 2 brothers that was outside young. My oldest brother is 10 years older than me. By the time I was 6, he's 16, he's already banging, you feel me? Yeah. So I had a front row seat to all of this.
Very tasty, cheesy, oniony, all of the above. One word to describe it, scrumptious, right? We from the town, so we just gonna say pause first, but it melts in your mouth. You just love it. You know what I'm saying? I wear this shirt to sleep. How much I love 7th Street Burger, man. It's near and dear to my heart. You see the logo? It's near to my heart. That's how we do it, man. Peace.
That energy is gonna come find you.
100%.
And somebody is gonna. All right, I want to see what's up with bro.
Right. You're gonna get checked. Like,
yes, 100% you are.
Especially in that lifestyle, and that's happening a lot too with the younger generation. They see it now more on social media, so they might not even be connected with no one, and they wake up and they think they blood, or they think they GDK, or they think it's like, whoa, that's not how it works. You can't just, you know, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works. You don't want to do that.
You get yourself hurt.
And it's crazy because I was telling the kids earlier how we grew up in a more color sensitive time.
Right. Where
I bought the white and cherry 12s recently, but I second guessed myself. Right. And I had to remind myself, so you 31, bro. You know what I mean? But you know, at the time, you couldn't wear too much of one color.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because that's already affiliated. That Cincinnati Reds hat, that Dodgers hat, you know what I mean? That black and yellow Pirates hat. Right. That's already, those were signs of affiliation. Right. So for me, I just gray, navy, black,
you gotta stay neutral
white,
colors.
You know what I mean? And that's how you had to learn that, because you may walk through the wrong hood in Harlem with a red hoodie and red sneakers and a red hat.
Bro, that's why if you look back at any photos, videos, Drewski, I only wear a black hat. I could have a red shirt, blue shirt, green. My hat is always just black. Like, you know what I'm saying? 99% of the time.
Intentionally.
Right, just because it's like,
that energy that comes with those colors, you feel me? And now you see bandana print clothing. Right, that's crazy. Like, in my era, you could never wear that. Right. That's an automatic, like, blue bandana print up and down, you crip.
Yeah,
like, that's it. And now it's
even if you wasn't crip, you was still getting checked.
Oh, 100%. Yo, who you see? Who you be?
And if you're not crip, you gotta take it off. Even if you had no affiliation with.
That's why it's okay to not even bring that attention to you. Right. If you're not ready for what comes. Right. 100%. Leave that alone. So I've related to you on this one. So when my dad passed away a few weeks ago, I was going to pull the plug on a Drewski and Friends concert because I had no one to do anything. He had plans of coming to the show, so he would have been upset if I did that. So I said, let's make it happen. Even though it was sold out, I held a spot in front of the stage for him. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to everyone from the from the artists to the people that showed love. I love y'all. Hashtag the movement. Hashtag Heavy as DJs. Hashtag we got the city.
Right. That was the first Drewski and Friends. I had a little TJ headlining at the time. Who else was there? Coyle Ray, Hood Celebrity, Dream Doll, YNW Melly was there before he got in his situation. Who else? It was a lot of artists, especially at the time. They was all new.
Right.
But to see like Drewski and Friends, I wish you had the year on that one. Was that 2018?
Yes.
So 2018.
Because this was more. I was scrolling.
Right.
I do my
you went
Twitter
back.
on the
You
computer,
go
so
back.
I could scroll more. Yeah. So this
just
is definitely 2018, 2019, 2017.
Then that was not Urban Plaza, Highland Ballroom.
Right.
And now look at Lil TJ today selling out, arenas.
Right.
But yeah, like that was right before my dad passed. So that feeling when you lose somebody, you just down and out. You don't want to do nothing, no motivation. But it was already like, he would have been super duper proud, like to see that outcome and to see everything. And I just did a Drewski and Friends in October, right here at the same theater where I said I had 4-1 and Sleepy. Right. And it's crazy. My dad did a rock and roll concert at that same theater when we was young. Right. So it was kind of like a full circle moment for me to do it there. It just was crazy.
And going back to parents, I feel like it's super. Your kids, they see everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we kind of him having the confidence and also the resources to go out there and put on a rock show.
Right.
Was already for you. That's a goal.
Yeah, and I seen the, not the full process, but he had no ties to music. He just did that for his own like self-satisfaction. Like he enjoyed that. And I was like, wow, like he's doing stuff he loves, he enjoys. He's bringing artists that he listened to and putting them on stage and having his own show. I thought that was like the biggest thing ever.
Right, that's super cool.
Yeah.
And he planted the seed, to who Drewski is today. So definitely, rest easy pops for real. I lost my dad in 2015, a couple months before my graduation. So when I saw that tweet, I know what that feeling is like, of just wishing somebody would have been there. Like,
right.
He was 3 months out from me graduating.
It's crazy.
So that was a crazy feeling, but it's crazy going back to seeing my college transcript. I had all A's and B's that semester, made the dean's list and all that.
Right.
So that's one thing that moment taught me was that life goes on. Like,
don't
still
stop.
Got to pay bills. I still had to graduate.
Right.
I still got my mom's coming, my grandmother. My family is all coming now. Now it's like it meant even more because everybody's gonna come. My friends, everybody was there to graduate. So I definitely still had to put on.
It don't, like you said, life don't stop.
Right.
But you still within yourself celebrate those moments with your pops, with you know what I'm saying, the people that you miss. When you by yourself, then those are times that you still celebrating with them people that you wish was there.
Right. Sure. So why support drill music?
Why not? Is the question. Like, why not support it? It's one, I like it, right? Personally, I just like it. Two, for New York City, it was the wave. If you ask anybody from 12 years old to 25 years old, who they listening to, what they listening to, majority of the time is drill music. Still to today. Now we got sexy drill. We had Jersey drill. We got, Brooklyn drill, Bronx drill. So it was like, it became a genre of music. And I feel, me personally, don't take no offense, I feel like drill brought New York back.
Right, it did.
Everyone, New York don't have a sound. Drill music gave New York an identity. Right. With the Fabio Foreigns and the Pop Smokes of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gave New York a new identity for this generation. Right. And when it comes to that, I'm all for that. Like, let's get New York back. Whatever's going to take, whatever sound. If it's drill, then it's drill. Let's run it up. And that's the type of time I was on.
Right. For those who ain't listen to Fabi's last album, he got a song with Popcorn. You know what I'm saying? Fire record. Right. Fire record. You know what I mean? So he definitely showed a lot of versatility. He walked on Same 24, like that record with Meat.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Bobby's nice. Like, don't get the drill beat confused with his talent.
Yes.
Like, Fabi could rap. Like, if you listen to something, like, he's nice. It's just he's doing it on a drill beat.
Right.
But that's his sound. Like, he got to own that.
Right.
but the talent is there.
Yes, it
Same
is.
thing with Chef and Sleepy. Like they nice. Like Chef be talking some shit.
Right.
It's just on a drill beat.
Right.
Right. But I like the beat is very aggressive. It has like some dark like energy behind it. It feels like New York,
Right.
a new New York. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the same way them records used to make you want to fight in the club back in the 90s that they was playing in the tunnel and fights. Drill gives that type of energy, and that's
Right.
just what New York is, and that's I'm gonna support that.
Right. What's misunderstood about the genre of music?
It's two things, right? Two ways. Like we were saying earlier, a lot of the younger generation feels like in order to be a part of drill music, you have to be a part of a gang, or you have to have an op, or you have to have beef. That's a little misunderstanding. Like no matter what was going on in Pop's world personally, he never presented that on these big records. He had big superstar A-list artists collaborating on drill records. It was never about no beef. It was about girls or dancing, some fly stuff. You know, he would mention his gang or whatever, but it was not focused on that.
Right.
I think the young generation thinks in order for me to get lit in drill, I gotta have beef with somebody. I gotta have an op.
Right.
It's like nah. And then on the other side, for the, you know, the consumers or the corporations that we need to support these records, the labels, it's the same thing. It's like don't just label it like a, you know, like a bad genre of music. Oh, it promotes violence. No, this talented artists.
Yes.
They created a wave. You see the numbers. You go on YouTube, these drill records are running up numbers, streams. So it's still like, you know, there's still a business behind it too. Mm-hmm. And it's a way for these kids to voice their self. It's a way for these artists to get out of the hood, to change their lives. This is the way they know how to do it,
right,
through this type of music. And you got to respect that too.
Right.
What they talking about or what they doing is probably what the only thing they know.
Right.
And it's their art. It's their way to express it.
Right.
The same way a country artist talks his life on a country record, these young artists is talking their life on a drill record.
Right.
So respect that.
Music is still their reality, you know, like they say reality rap, like it's still the same for sure. In no order, most impactful drill artists.
Okay, so this is me. I'm gonna give Tutu and Chef G like their spot together, if that makes sense. Right. Because I feel like in New York, there was artists doing it before, right? Shout out to all the artists in Brooklyn, like the Curly Savs and Bambino. But Chef and Tutu, their feud is what sparked interest. Like, oh, there's two artists beefing, and they taking these UK drill beats, which became the sound of like Brooklyn drill to me. So they kind of share that first spot. And then I give Pop credit for making it worldwide. Yeah. Right? Like what he did changed what the sound of drill music to me. And then Favi for holding that torch and keeping it going. Yeah. Right? Those are my top three. But there's artists like Sleepy who got crazy. Like I think they just posted like 4 platinum records, and they come from that drill world. They know how to like kind of, when you listen to their music, it's not super duper drill, you know, but they come from that drill world. And there's a lot of artists like that. But those are the top 3 with Tutu and Chef sharing that spot, and Favi and Pop Smoke.
Yeah. I like that. So, what's the impact of a Drewski Cosign?
Oh, for new artists, it's pretty big. Yeah. And I don't like to big myself up. I don't talk about myself like. Yeah. But you know, if you from New York and you pay attention and you're in tune, majority of the time you hear a new artist is coming from my side, right? Whether it's on radio, whether it's just content, whether it's me co-signing something, it's like a lot of times it comes through me, and that's just from me being in tune and me feeling like the job of a DJ is to do that. Right? I always felt like that. Like, who am I if I'm not introducing new music and new artists to the world, right. Especially from our backyard. It was very important for me to focus on like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? Like people right. we're close to, because those are the people we coming up with. Those are the people we got to support.
Right.
And there's people in other places that should be supporting their artists. But me being from here, I feel like it starts at home. And that's why it was important to always promote New York first.
Right. I definitely want to shout out to my homegirl, Sunny So Fancy. We went to college together in Connecticut.
Word?
So, yeah, big Bronx energy. So it's definitely shout out to So Fancy gals, So Fancy nails.
Sunny So Fancy.
You know what I'm saying? Sunny So Fancy, that's my sis. You know, love your work ethic. So I definitely want to share my platform with you. I seen you posted a pic with Drewski a few days ago.
Yeah, she's working.
So this is fitting. You feel
Yeah,
me?
she's working.
And it don't cost me nothing to support my sister. You know what I mean? So super proud of you and definitely keep going.
Right. And all the artists, like, we was probably in the trenches too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like we in these fancy, nice. We're not in, Madison Square Garden doing shows. We in the trenches doing shows. So I give artists that come out to these shows and put in work. Like, I give y'all credit for doing that. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot to build yourself up, to come to the trench and still perform like you at Madison Square Garden. Right. So shout out to all the artists that, are outside working.
Right. So we had our last 3 questions. What would be a message to your younger self?
Don't second guess, that gut feeling of what you want to do, right? I always kept quiet. I analyzed a lot, but never really spoke up. And I feel like if there was something I wanted to say or something I wanted to do, if I would have just done it right away without overthinking, things probably would have moved faster. Or I would have just, but everything happens for a reason. But I'm sure there's a lot of youth out there that, double guess themselves. Like, am I worth it? Am I good enough? Can I do it? And it's like, I would have told my younger self, yo, just do it.
Right.
Don't ask nobody. Don't question it. Just do it.
Right.
Facts.
Right. Message to the youth.
Message to the youth. Dream as big as you could. You know what I'm saying? Once you accomplish a dream, keep on dreaming. And I think that's very important. It's like being able to see a vision. And then it starts with that dream. Like, I had a dream of being a successful DJ, being on television. Once I accomplished one, I just kept dreaming. And I think if you don't set your goals or set those dreams, you have nothing to look forward to. So when people be like, yo, you bugging, you wilding, that ain't never gonna happen. It's like, nah, trust me. Like, you dream big and you go for that. And once you hit that goal, you look back and was like, damn, there was a time when someone told me I could never do it. Right. And look at all the steps I took, but I'm here now. Right. And I think that's important for you to just keep dreaming.
Right. Absolutely. So, message to young artists.
Young artists, take your time. Like, everybody wants to go viral.
Right.
That shit is like hitting the lottery. It happens, but it's really like hitting the lottery.
Right.
But if you're a real artist, you really want to do music and you true to the music, take your time. Stay consistent. We said consistency a lot during this interview.
Yes, sir.
Stay consistent and just keep working and keep growing as an artist. Better yourself. You know what I'm saying? If it takes you reading books to build your vocabulary, like, keep building yourself. If you're a full-time artist, it's like running a business. You always want to make your business better. Right. So as an artist, you always want to make yourself better. So just, take your time, practice patience, and don't try to go viral like someone you might have seen on TikTok. Like, really focus on the music and be the best artist you could be.
Right. So definitely being out here in Big Jersey, definitely shout out to my guy Jeremy. Rest in peace, my man Rob Roman. Guys that I met in college. Jeremy's still here, but Rob Roman, we lost him when we was in school. And definitely, man, my brother Albie Al, the biggest.
Yeah, the Gladiator.
The Gladiator. Marion. I feel like I'm from Marion too, you know what I mean? But we had a great conversation, you know what I mean? I've been to a lot of his album release parties. We speak from time to time. Just a great person. And we understand each other, and as men and as fathers.
Right.
So that's the point of conversation with Zoe is we got to evolve. You know what I mean? We can't be in that mindset of chasing Jordans and girls and spending all our money forever.
Yeah, it's growth. And shout out to Albie. I watched him grow, bro. I seen him grow. So to see him today, after everything he's been through, and still staying consistent, still working, still having that energy to, like, be better.
Right.
Like, I give him credit.
Right.
Like, I would have probably folded by now. Like, man, fuck all this music, you know. But he stayed consistent, and I watched him grow as a person too, not just as an artist. He grew as a person. Shout out to Albie.
Right. Easy on him. That's sad, as he always says, man. So listen, shout out to businesses and ventures and websites, and let us know where we can find you, man.
Easy. I'm active on my Instagram. They can just tap in at Drewski, SODREWSKI. Of course, the New Movement show every Sunday on High 97, where we play a lot of the new artists and breaking a lot of these artists from the town. But yeah, just tap in on the gram. If the artists got questions they just want to ask, hit me.
Right. Man, thank you for your time. I always forget to say this shit, but make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, because, you know, we in motion, man. I care about the product and putting good stuff out there, you know, useful information. You know, young black boys and Latin children and children of all shades are going to see this and be able to take up information from it and apply it. I feel like that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, so Drewski, man, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your space with me. You know, the movement, we outside. You know what I'm saying? Movement Zoe, or Move with Zoe. Yeah. We might be putting our own show here, man. Move with Zoe.
Go. You're always welcome.
You know what I mean? But super thankful. Listen, man, let's have a fun and safe summer. And as my son DNA says, you know, get money and drink water. We out.
Peace.
Peace and love, world. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, support the channel, show your love. You know what I'm saying? We have a great conversation week in and week out. You never know who's coming. You never know what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's all about peace and love. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment.